available. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
What is the greatest spectacle sporting event in the entire world?
That would be just like one event, because I
One
think
game. Yes,
it is the Super Bowl, sir.
that's correct. The Super Bowl. And what is the greatest venue you could ever imagine? Best city to host a Super Bowl?
I already know the answer. It's Las Vegas.
Yes. Las Vegas. It's official. February 2024, Las Vegas is hosting the Super Bowl. It's going to be the greatest thing of all time. It's going to be amazing. Vegas is going to be slammed for 2 weeks. People are going to be, it's going to be the great. I want to go already. I saw it today, saw that it was announced, saw that it's official. I'm looking at rooms. I'm looking at flights out. I think it's going to be the greatest thing ever. And probably just like this year, it's going to be the Patriots versus the Bucks.
In 2024?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, Brady will still be playing.
He'll be entering the back half of his career at that point, but he'll still be playing.
Can you imagine? And I know that the Super Bowl's at night. There are going to be some people that overdo it Saturday night into Sunday morning. There's going to be, I don't know if anyone will ever admit it. There's going to be someone that pays a ridiculous amount of money for that ticket that doesn't end up going to the game, like that ends up like sleeping through it. That is going to happen. And I cannot wait for that story.
They're going to walk out of the casino and it's going to be like, oh my God, it's 8 a.m. I can't sleep now. I've got to push through to the game. And then they crash land at some point during the day and don't make it. There's no doubt. And I mean, Monday morning will be like the living dead walking around Vegas. It's going to be amazing. Parties. Like the best thing about the Super Bowl is the parties and all of the venues and the former players and all of the stuff that they've got going on. And the Vegas is set up specifically for that. Most cities aren't set up. Like it requires, like there's a bunch of stuff all over the place that you've got to go to and try in order to pull off the Super Bowl. Vegas, you walk across the highway to the stadium. It's the greatest thing ever.
It's going to be dangerous, like in the best way. It's going to be very dangerous.
Correct.
Someone's going to like, they're going to like put their Super Bowl tickets like on red and spin the roulette wheel. Like there's going to be some wild stuff that happens. And dude, how many guys are going to play hungover in that game? It's going to be,
that's the real danger. I could see Belichick saying like, yeah, we're flying in Saturday.
I could see both teams being like, nope, we'll practice at home. We'll treat it like a regular road game. We're not showing up for media day or any of that stuff. Nope.
No, we're using Phoenix as our home base. We will fly to Vegas for the game.
Oh, there's going to be people. I mean, I hope no one like actually dies. Like, but God, that is going to be. Whew. All right, who do you have as your loser of the week?
I thought about going with the University of Southern California, who locked in the 99th recruiting class today. Lost one of those commits to Nebraska, I believe. They signed 5 guys.
But at least they had some original concepts for the rollout of their commits. That's the important part. They got Hollywood out there. They got the most creative people in the world when it comes to film and all that stuff. At least they came up with something real original.
I swear the internet is so undefeated It took 7 seconds for someone to lay those two side by side and put it out there, right?
If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, they basically stole the thing that OU did in 2019 and they just used it this year. It was hilarious.
Used the same script, just, basically just reworked it. And I think the most interesting part about it is they did that up for their 5 commits to send out to him. It's just, do you think he's having any regrets?
Of course he is. Yeah, listen. He saw the video of Venables getting off the plane. He saw that.
Right.
I mean, we talked about when it all went down. In one place, football is everything. I've said this before. For me personally, it's family, faith, Oklahoma football. And the Oklahoma City Thunder. I love the Thunder. And they are, 108, 107, 6 seconds to go against the Pelicans. How about that? But Los Angeles, who gives a shit about USC football, man? I mean,
no one. It's wild, man.
Five guys in that recruiting class, I suppose, but it's a different world out there. What matters here doesn't matter as much to the people there. It just doesn't. That's been proven time and time again.
And it signing day here is like a huge deal. Like everyone in the area.
We have talked about this for 6 hours today, or you throw in our radio shows. You've talked about it for like 12 hours today, Teddy.
Yeah. And people eat it up. We love it. We can't wait. Tell us about these kids, these players. There's no one in LA that cared anything about signing day today. Nobody. So I thought that was interesting, but I had to go with COVID. It is like,
I think it's winning, man. I think it's winning the battle right now.
Yeah, I slated it as my loser. I guess I should have said the NFL is the loser right now. The NFL's had more positive tests Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week than they have had the entire season combined. And there's some games that are probably in jeopardy, and this thing has the feeling of something that's about to spin out of control. NFL is talking about changing up their protocols and testing everyone every single day because tons of breakthrough cases. And yeah, it's wild. COVID not giving up with the NFL.
Omicron, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
The variant? Thing's an asshole, man. It's been a long time. We're still going through that. This sucks.
Yeah.
No, but and it's the NFL, it's the NBA,
NHL,
right? The Bulls had to, they had to cancel a couple of games. The NHL, they're having a big problem. It's getting bad, dude.
It's getting bad. There are a lot of people that believe that this may be the way out of it, though. Is this variant is, at least as of right now, not showing a lot of serious illness that comes with it. And if it makes its way through the population, this could be the way out of this thing.
We haven't talked about COVID in a long time on here, and
it just kind of burst back on within the last couple of weeks.
COVID with quite the comeback. Impressive stuff. COVID, impressive stuff.
Resilient.
I don't like you. We are still an anti-COVID podcast, but
for now, no telling what happens.
Oh God! All right, if you are a whiskey, what did that even mean?
I don't know.
If you are a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing. Head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That is the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. In 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan, and became the first American distillery to win the competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. Although the whiskey is made in Texas, the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com.
I laugh every time someone tweets out, "It's the fancy corn."
The fancy corn thing. Oh, Pelicans hit a game winner, beat the Thunder 113-110.
Yes.
Oh, I know it's good, but
That's
dang
good.
it.
That's good. Just show that you could have won it if you wanted to. That's all you got to do.
Played an exciting, fun game at home. That's the key for the team. But dang. All right. So for my winner of the week, thought about going with Steph Curry. Became the all-time leader in three-pointers in NBA history. He hit his 2,974th three. I think he hit a couple more after that against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden on Tuesday night. That's so many threes, dude. Like
crazy.
What?
Did you see the court that had all of his threes?
Oh, such an awesome graphic. Whoever made that graphic is a wizard.
It was awesome.
But
they're getting further and further away as the years ticked by. It was going back and back and back.
Yeah, he's really good at shooting the basketball. He's really good. Also thought about going with Lewis Hamilton. Ted, you thought F1 talk was over since the season was over. Not so fast, bud. Okay, so he loses the controversial race, right? To Max Verstappen. But how about this consolation prize? He got knighted on Wednesday. Sir Lewis Hamilton got knighted by the Prince of Wales at Windsor Castle. So didn't win the Formula One championship, but being knighted is, that's pretty sweet. Come on.
That's really cool. And I saw that F1 just enjoyed their highest ratings by far for a season, right?
What you need to do, and you'll be able to catch up. It's not hard.
Netflix?
The Drive to Survive season comes out after the season. And it is going to be the episode where they the final race episode is going to be incredible. You got to get on board. I'm forcing you to watch that.
There was a lot of people really pissed off about that.
I told you.
Really pissed off about that.
And it's not just like in the United States. It's the whole damn world, man.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know so many people watch Formula One. And now it's like, I'm like an outsider, but I'm like trying to creep my way into that community a little bit, talk a little shop. Just think though,
for F1, that's a big market that they're not really ingrained in is the US. So that's pretty big. It sounds like people are starting to notice.
There is a race in Miami next year. Just saying. Me and you.
How about that?
Take this show on the road there, partner.
I am down.
Ooh,
I'm down. I'd love that.
I will have our wives look into it because let's not be real. We're not planning that. Come on. All right, but my winner of the week, the Southeastern Conference, and I don't know what else to say. Now, recruiting's not everything, but it is the lifeblood of your program, and it's the lifeblood of college football. And stars aren't everything, but stars matter. They do. They're significant. And I was looking at the 24/7 composite rankings. Texas A&M 1, Bama 2, Georgia 3. You also have
clean sweep of the top 3.
Clean sweep of the top 3. You also have Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Auburn, LSU, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss, all in the top 25. For those of you that can count quickly, that is 11 of the top 25. For reference, the Big 12 has 2 in the top 25. And those schools here in the near future are going to the SEC. So some people view it, the SEC's got 13 of the top 25 recruiting classes in the country. That is
Crazy.
like it's insane.
Well,
And
and if
the
you
Big
count
Ten's
OU
got
and
6.
if you count OU and Texas as SEC schools because they're going there, 9 of the top 15 classes.
It's just
Crazy.
It's nuts. And by the way, Oklahoma State checking in at 26. I see you, Mike.
Heyo,
That'll
nicely done.
boy. That's good stuff. I mean, that's a really good class for Mike Gundy. But listen,
I think the lowest ranked SEC class was Vanderbilt, who was 37.
yeah.
Which, you know,
I was going through Vandy's class. Like, they got some high rated guys, like, that have some link. I was like, damn, okay.
It's crazy.
I see you, Barton Simmons from the podcasting world, former colleague. Now he's like their director of player personnel. He did wrangling up talent. Look at him go.
Nice.
But I know we poke fun at the SEC a little bit, right? It just means more stuff. But the amount of talent in that league that they have currently and the amount of talent that they continue to amass through recruiting, it's just, I mean, it's impressive, man. I mean, they got players, and you look at A&M, Alabama, Georgia, they signed 12 5-stars combined. The Big 12 signed 1. And that was, if you count Ewers, I guess it's 2, but the Kelvin Banks, the offensive tackle that's going to Texas. I mean, so if anyone is still confused as to why OU and Texas want to go to the SEC, it's because they want to be in that club. They want to have access to more of those types of players. And of course, you get the big fat TV revenue check. That helps a lot too. But
it's crazy.
And it's when you just look at it from a recruiting perspective, Ted, it's nuts, man.
Well, like Georgia and Alabama, I don't think in the last 5 years, either one of those schools has been outside of like the top 3 or 4. And Alabama's been number 1 or number 2 most of those years. Like, they've got 12 5-stars signed between those 3 schools this year, but Alabama probably has more 5-stars on their roster right now than, well, I know they've got more 5-stars on their roster than are on rosters in the entire Big 12. Like, and probably the entire Big 12 and Pac-12 combined. Like, it's absurd the amount of talent that they have. It's, it's an unfair fight, honestly, right? Whenever you talk about trying to line up and beat Alabama, it's not a fair fight. They've got you beat, 100 different ways before the game even starts. But you're right. Once we get into that club, they can't use you can't go to Oklahoma. They don't put anyone in the NFL. Big 12 doesn't put guys in the league. They can't use that against you anymore.
Yep. Your number one disadvantage in recruiting goes away. So, but damn. Okay,
Impressive.
my loser of the week. Thought about going with Baker Mayfield, right? Test positive for COVID. Also, Stefanski test positive. We'll see what happens. Who knows if he'll play this weekend, but I didn't make him my loser because did you see so Case Keenum's the backup. Did you see what Case Keenum said? Right? Because they're talking about him getting ready to play in this game. Did you see what he said about Chubb?
No.
So they were like, hey, how excited you are, if you're planning to be with a healthy Nick Chubb back there. And he said, quote, having a full Chubb back there is going to be really good. Which just makes me love Case Keenum. I mean, that's a great line.
If I'm Baker, I'm sorry. I milk the COVID thing this week. The game is on Saturday, right? The forecast is 33 and raining at kickoff.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross. Yeah, maybe heal up, Baker. Maybe this week, right?
Take a week.
He's battled. His limbs are falling off. Now he's got COVID. He's battled through everything. Maybe it's time. Take a weekend off.
Let Keenum hand it off 40 times.
Yeah. But my loser of the week, Nebraska. Man, remember Scott Frost, he had to fire a bunch of people. Now kept his job. right? And did what he had to do to remain the head coach there. Nebraska didn't want to pay the buyout, but they came to terms, reducing some of that stuff. Like, there's no doubt he still wants to be the head coach at Nebraska, sacrificed to do it. But he also said, I'm going to be more of a CEO style head coach. I was like, wait, your job's on the line. And really, you're going to just, control less? Okay, I'll believe that when I see it. Ted, as you can imagine, this didn't do wonders for their recruiting class. And in fact, I'm going to let you guess. Where do you think Nebraska's recruiting class landed amongst the teams in the Big Ten?
There's some really bad teams in the Big Ten. 9th.
So for those of you that don't know, it's the Big Ten, but there are 14 teams. And checking in at number 14 in the rankings would be the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Behind Illinois, behind Northwestern, Nebraska, bringing it up the rear. And this is according to the 24/7 composite rankings. But you look at, they've got one 4-star player in their class, kid named Jaden Gould, and he's a cornerback from New Jersey, of all places. And they've been down. And a lot of people last year, they're saying, hey, they're close. They're close. Give Scott Frost time. They're close. They're close in all these games. They were 3-9 and they were 1-8 in Big Ten play. I don't care that they lost close. They just reeled in the worst recruiting class in the Big Ten. So I know there's a lot of people that fall in the category, oh, Scott Frost, they were close. They're going to win some of those close games next season. I'm not one of those people. I don't think it's going to get any better for Scott Frost. I don't know, Ted. That's where I'm at with it.
It's so weird because we got to see him up close this year. It's not a bad football team, and they've got some good football players, but it's only going to get worse. The only way Nebraska is going to turn anything around is by stockpiling a massive fund for NIL stuff. That is the only way.
Yep.
Nothing else is going to move the needle. It's going to be way too hard.
And I hope some people at Nebraska hear that. Like, I'm with you.
If you can through a NIL deal convince the number 1 player in the country to go to Jackson State, I think you can convince him to go to the number 1 quarterback in the country to go to Nebraska, or whatever it is that you want to do. That's the only way it's going to happen.
That's the truth, man. I'm with you. I agree. But yeah, I was just perusing the recruiting rankings, like, oh, I wonder who had a good class. And I was like, oh my God, dead last behind Northwestern and Illinois. Oh,
crazy.
Nebraska. I remember when you guys were good.
I know people probably don't want to hear this, but we're close. We're close.
Don't you say that, Ted. Don't you dare.